What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS breakdown. We've been waiting on it for months. It is finally here. Opening day, Thursday, March 27th. We are back. If you've never been here before for MLB, you can already tell by the length of the video. It's a little bit longer process. So in the description of this video, I'll have linked this article right here. I'll have our complete our free Discord down below as well, and I'll have the chapters so you can skip chapters if you want. If you're looking for certain pictures, breakdowns, slates, whatever you're looking for, we've got it broken down for you. A lot of you are new from NFL season after MLB season ended. A ton of you are from last year's MLB season. I want to welcome you all back, and hopefully a lot of new people this season. So if you don't know what we do, in these videos, we are going to break down every game. We're going to look at the pitchers. We're going to look at the batters. We're going to look at the pitches be crazy, which are the top 5 pitchers on the slate that have the best matchups for strikeouts. We're also going to show some of our top bats as well overall for the day. So normally, before we do these videos, I've already ran 10,000 simulations in the background, and those are what have given us some of the information that we need. And we have even more for you on the website. So I'm going to break down the entire slate. Then I'm going to show you what you can get for FTA Plus. $10 for a week. I'm going to show you everything that is in each and every one of these tabs right here to see if you guys are ready to rock and roll. So what I'm talking about is hopefully an eye-opening experience. With that being said, we do have giveaways every single video. Here's how to win in these giveaways. You got to be a YouTube subscriber to this page. You got to like this video right here, and you got to leave a comment for the comment picker to pick you up. You do all 3 of those things, and this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. Now, that is a week of all sports, not just MLB. That is all sports. MLB, PGA, NBA, MMA, NASCAR. We've got it for you. If this video gets at least 100 likes and you've done all that you can, you will have a chance to win a free month of FTA Plus, which is a $30 value. 150 likes on this video, a chance at a yearly pass worth $200. But with that yearly pass right now until the start of the first pitch of the main slate of this MLB season, if you email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, that's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com, and you say you want to get the yearly special, instead of $199, we are going to give it to you for $75. But once the first pitch happens, it's back to $199. If this video gets 200 or more likes on it, one of you that has left a comment, you are a subscriber, and you've liked the video, you will win a $500 lifetime pass to FTA Plus. So get in there. Let's have some fun. The second way, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, and have a second shot at a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. Now, baseball is back. This is true. Weather plays a factor. Also true. We've got a ton of stats we're going to look at. We're looking at BVPs that people talk about. We look at cheat sheet, the chalk, the stats, the umpire ratings. All of this is a factor in MLB. So if you've never been here before and you're just looking for, I need these 5 plays and that's it, the article down below might give you that. It is a conclusive article giving you the plays that you need. But if you want to be a better DFS player, we are here for you as well. So it's a weird opening day, as in we have these 2 games here are an hour earlier before first pitch of the main slate. So we'll still talk about it a little bit, but we're not going to dig into it as much as we are going to the main slate. Normally we have, an early slate, main slate, but then this is what's weird because you have that main slate and it goes down to here. Then you have this game, and this game as your late night slate or whatever you want to call it. And we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll go through a ton of things. So buckle up, get ready. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so we're going to cover the 2-game early slate real quick. We're going to look at it, and we're going to kind of go into a little bit of detail with it, and then we'll jump right into the main slate. So the first game of the 2025 opening day, not the Tokyo series, we've got the Milwaukee Brewers at the New York Yankees. You got Freddie Peralta versus Carlos Rodon. Now, Peralta, seeing them quite a bit. 70 plate appearances, 31.4 K percentage, 286 batting average against him, 400 WOBA. Okay, you look on that and you want to dig in. You want to see the numbers a little bit. You want to see if they're skewed a little bit. Now, they could be 70 plate appearances. Maybe it's 30 of those plate appearances, one batter, and he's done really well, and then the rest have not, so we will dig into that. Carlos Rodon, on the other hand, 38 plate appearances, very up and down, hot or cold past couple of years with the Yankees. He's locked it down when he needs to. He's given up some runs as well. Against this Brewers team, 38 plate appearances. He's got a 42.1 K percentage, 222 batting average, and only a 5.3 walk percentage. So looking at that, I don't mind either of these. I think Rodon's more of my cash pitcher in this. With the 2-game slate, though, pretty much all 4 pitchers are technically okay to go. But if we're looking at like BVP and we're looking at a way to break this down a little bit, you can see, and I didn't even think about this, but Freddie Peralta, in 71 of those plate appearances, 36 of them are Paul Goldschmidt. 33 at-bats, 9 hits, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 9 strikeouts. Still batting .273 against him, so a great first base option there. You have Bellinger 5 for 12 with a double and a home run, and he's been absolutely killing it in this spring training, batting almost 500. He's batting 400 against him. Jazz is 2 for 8 with a double and a home run, and that's basically it. Trent Grisham probably won't start this game. So if I were to look at this, Goldie makes sense to use for a Yankees bat. Judge obviously makes sense to use for a bat. Jazz, Bellinger, like, I don't mind a Yankee stack here. Now, the offense is a little bit different without Juan Soto in there, but they've still been doing pretty good. Judge has had a slow spring training, but it's spring training. It means nothing. Even with Cody Bellinger hitting almost 500, it doesn't mean anything until they get to the actual season. So I am okay with that. Freddie Peralta for tournaments, I'm okay. I think I'd rather take the Yankees bats in this one, though. And then we look at Carlos Rodon. So looking at Rodon, players that have had success against him, I mean, it's very consistent. They're all about 9 to 8 to 7. Rhys Hoskins, 3 for 9 with a double and a home run. I usually, and you guys, if you've been with us since last year, you know that I love me some Rhys Hoskins against a left-handed pitcher. So I would take Rhys Hoskins in this one, being a cheaper option there. William Contreras usually hits lefties very well. 1 for 6 against him with 2 strikeouts. Christian Yelich is 1 for 7. That one hit was a double, but he does have 5 strikeouts. So if all things are good, we are looking at probably Rodon should, in theory, have a good game there. And I could see that. I don't really like many of the Milwaukee bats against there, which doesn't mean a ton. I'm just trying to break down the games for you as much as we can. Now, early on in the season, about the first month of the season, we're trying to gather some stats. We're trying to see how things are going to rock and roll. Now, it's cold in some of these places. Will that affect them? They've obviously been pitching in Florida or Arizona for the past month and a half, and now they're going to New York in March, which is cold for the majority of it. So you're going to see that same. So the first couple of weeks are not indicative of how some of these teams play, obviously. Some of these ballparks that are monster home run ballparks might play a little bit differently to start the season because it is cold. But once it warms up, once the humidity is out there, bombs away in those games. So that is the first game. Second game, Orioles at the Blue Jays. You got Zach Eflin versus Jose Barrios. So Eflin, 106 plate appearances, a 288 batting average against the Blue Jays, only 11.3 K percentage, and only a 1.9 walk percentage. Does have a 334 WOBA against him. Barrios in this one, 208 plate appearances, 19.7 K percentage, 6.3 walk, 255 batting average. So if we dig in, so out of these 106 plate appearances, how many are, a majority of the players, or is it spread out? So you can see Vladdy has had his number, batting 368, 7 for 19, a double and 2 home runs, only 1 strikeout. It is a contract year for Vladdy. If he stays healthy, we love contract years for batters. For the majority of them, hit very, very well in those contract years. I think Vladdy has a huge year this year as long as he stays healthy and gets that huge $500 million plus contract. Whether or not, it depends on where it goes. But Vladdy is another first baseman that I am definitely looking at against Eflin today. George Springer, depending on which one we're going to get, he likes to steal bases a little bit, but 4 for 14 with a double, 1 home run. You've got, other than that, like, they have not had a ton of success. Like, it's Vladdy at the top. If I were to use any Toronto bats, it's Vladdy number 1. Bo Bichette is bound. I mean, I think it's a contract year for Bo as well, so you could look at him. Santander, switch hitter, had a huge year last year. Now he's facing his former team. Will it have a revenge factor or whatever you want to call it? We could see. Another one I like is Andres Jimenez, second baseman here for us, 3 for 5 with a home run against him. He's got a little bit of speed, he's got a little bit of power, he's got what we need there. That is kind of what I'm looking at. So if I'm using those bats, it's Vladdy, maybe a little bit of George Springer, Bo Bichette, Santander, and Andres Jimenez for this Blue Jays lineup here. Now, on the flip side of that, the Orioles bats, we know that they're supposed to be really good. Kind of had a down year last year a little bit. But against Berrios, Ryan O'Hearn, 10 for 31, batting .323 with 2 home runs. You've got Cedric Mullins, 7 for 27 with 3 doubles and a home run. You've got Adley Rutschman, who hurt his hand last year. It took his power away. Against him, 13 for 22, 2 doubles, 3 home runs. Mountcastle, 2 for 22, but those 2 hits were home runs there. Gary Sanchez, we know he's got power, but he also was hurt. If I were to use some players here, I'm looking at Adley Rutschman. I'm looking at Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, and probably Jackson Holiday, depending on what we've got going on there. A little bit of that. Gunnar Henderson, maybe. Not 100% sure on Gunnar yet, but we will definitely find out moving forward. So those are your 2 early games. We're now going to look at the main slate. We've got Boston versus Texas. We've got Garrett Crochet versus Nate Eovaldi. Now, Eovaldi's facing one of his former teams. Crochet making his first start for the Red Sox. It's wild to think about. Garrett Crochet is the Boston Red Sox opening day starter. Last year, I think it was Corey Kluber. That's it. That's the story right there. Crochet has not seen very many Texas bats. 19 plate appearances, 278 batting average. My only problem is he is very injury prone. He hit a career high in innings pitched last year. Coming into this, we'll see what we've got. So Texas, usually when it warms up in the summer, balls are flying out of there. And looking at that, Crochet, we can jump in and we can look at Garrett Crochet last year. Splits-wise, now, we are going to use a little bit of season stats, and we're going to use a little bit of splits from the previous year. Now, obviously, teams have changed. There are certain players that are no longer on certain teams, but it's the only thing we really have to go off of for baseball right now. So, looking at that, he faced Texas twice last year, 1 loss, only went 4 innings, so he's coming out of the bullpen, 4 hits allowed, so it's a little bit skewed. Now, my problem is he had a very good spring training. 1 run in 15 innings, 30 strikeouts, 8 walks. We know he is a strikeout pitcher. He is at the top of his game right now. If he stays healthy, Texas could strike out a ton. If we look at how Texas did last year in the strikeout department, looking at them, they ranked 8th out of 30. They didn't strike out very many, only 7.93 times per game. Now, Garrett Crochet obviously has a ton of potential with strikeout stuff. I do not mind him whatsoever there. Now, Eovaldi coming in here. Looking at this game right here, I don't like how it's not showing the probable pitcher yet, but whatever. So we're looking at Nate Eovaldi. In his career, 1 game last year, well, not his career, but 1 game last year, 1 start, 5 innings, 7 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, but he had 7 strikeouts in that one. He still had 10.5 fantasy points per game in that one. Now he's pitching at home against a Boston team, which I don't know what we're going to get out of Boston here. If I were to look at these 2 pitchers, Garrett Crochet is my number 1 here. I will take a little bit of Eovaldi here, though. He does have technically a fantastic matchup here against the team that struck out the most out of all active teams last year. Now, again, we can only go over stats from last year, probably the first couple of weeks, and then we'll get a feel for how these teams are doing after about 14 games, 15 games under their belt. So I don't mind either of these pitchers here. If I were to look at bats on both sides, if I were to look at Texas bats against Crochet, I don't think I am. Jake Berger hits lefties well, but I just don't. Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim, I don't see it. I'm probably using, in my mind, I am using Crochet as a pitcher, I am not looking at Texas bats. Flip side of that, not a ton that I love for Boston bats against Eovaldi. Bregman's 10 for 29 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. So 5 of his 10 hits are extra base hits, batting .345. Trevor Story's 1 for 3 with a home run. That's okay. Wilyer Abreu 1 for 2 with a home run. Jarren Duran 1 home run. There's not much else. I like both of these. If you were not to take Eovaldi, I mean, Bregman makes sense. Rafi makes sense a little bit. That's it. I don't love this game as much as I love other games. For bats, I would rather take the pitching in this one. Move to the Philly at the Washington Nationals here. You got Zach Wheeler versus Mackenzie Gore. Wheeler has seen a ton of the Washington bats, being both in the same division with Philly and with the Mets earlier in his career. 191 plate appearances, 242 batting average against him, 27.2 K percentage, only a 3.1 walk percentage there. Flip side of that, Mackenzie Gore, 161 plate appearances, a 24.8 K percentage, 286 batting average, 8.1 walk percentage. He has been very up and down. Both of these pitchers were very, how should I say it, up and down for us when we used them. So you got Zach Wheeler last year against this Washington team. He faced them 3 games, 2 wins in those games, 19.2 innings, 9 hits allowed in 2 of those, only 5 earned runs with 23 strikeouts. He was averaging 26.4 fantasy points per game against Washington last year. Now we look at that, those are great numbers. Again, like I said, beginning of the season, little bit colder out there. Don't know how stretched out they're going to be, if they're going to more 5 or 6 innings. So if we look at this, when he went against them, 6.1 innings, 6 innings. So he went 6+ in those games. I think he could do that again. Obviously, coming off spring training, we never know what's going to happen there. But Zach Wheeler makes a ton of sense for me in this one. Now, Mackenzie Gore's in the other one. Looking at Gore, we already looked at his career numbers, but he had 4 starts against Philly last year. 101 record, 23.2 innings, gave up 20 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 home runs, 8 walks, 24 strikeouts, average 17.6. Now, 17.6 is not bad, especially at a price of $6,600. Basically, what you're looking for your starting pitchers, at least on DraftKings anyway, 18 to 20 plus. If you want to take down a tournament, you need your pitchers to get 25 plus. Not always going to happen. It's kind of like with NBA. If you've been following us, you know that with NBA, when we look at that, you're looking at 7.5 times value or something like that. Basically, what you're looking for, if there's a pitcher 8K or below, 2 times value. If they are 6,600 like this, 3 to 4 times value would make a ton of sense there. Obviously, DFS is a little bit different between NBA and MLB. If you were to look at batters in this game and see which ones have had success against them in the past, we definitely can do that. You got Josh Bell. Whether or not he's going to start, we will see. Batting .304 against Zach Wheeler. 14 for 46. Includes 2 doubles and 4 home runs. So 6 of the 14 hits are extra base hits. Does have 11 strikeouts, though. Luis Garcia Jr., I would use him. 7 for 31 with 2 doubles and a home run. You've got, depending if Keibert Ruiz starts, 6 for 25 with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. You got Paul DeJong with 2 home runs, 4 hits, 1 double, 2 home runs there. James Wood has a home run, only 1 for 6 against him. So if I'm not using Zach Wheeler, those would probably be the bats that I would use for Washington. Josh Bell, Garcia, CJ Abrams, maybe Nate Lowe coming over from Texas, obviously. Those would kind of be the ones I'd look at. Maybe a little bit of James Woods as well. Now, if we're looking at the flip side of that, and we're looking at Mackenzie Gore, the batters against him, Harper's only 6 for 23 with 2 doubles, so he's got no home runs there. Castellanos, if there's a huge national event, Castellanos might hit a home run on opening day. 7 for 20 with a double and 2 home runs. You got Alec Boehm, 5 for 17 with a home run. I would use Boehm. I would use Trey Turner against a lefty. I would use JT Realmuto against a lefty. I would use Nick Castellanos there. Yeah, maybe a little bit of Schwarber. Schwarber's that one. He's either going to get you a home run or an out. That's it. When we have bets like that, that's pretty much what we're looking for there. So we're going to try to have bets at the end of these videos as well. Maybe every day. We'll see. I'm probably not using Mackenzie Gore. I think I'd rather stack Philly in that one and feel a little bit more comfortable doing it that way. Brings us to the Guardians at the Royals. I do believe there is some weather concern here. Yes. So a little bit of weather concern. This is a pitcher's ballpark, though. We love to take a pitcher against them usually. You got Tanner Bibby versus Cole Reagans. Bibby just signed an extension with Cleveland. Cole Reagans, dominant last year. Fantastic for pitching, and now he's back here. 105 plate appearances against the Royals. 209 batting average, 21.9 K percentage. On the flip side of that, Cole Reagans, 45 plate appearances, 250 batting average, 11.1 walk percentage, and a 26.7 K percentage there. So if we look at these pitchers on DraftKings and how they did, you got Cole Reagans, splits-wise, faced Cleveland twice last year. 0-1 record, 8.2 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, and only 10 strikeouts. He did not really have his stuff against Cleveland. Now, whether or not, Jose Ramirez is still there. Andres Jimenez is now gone. You've got Josh Naylor gone. Certain home run hitters are gone off this team. Reagans at home, if with the weather, scares me a little bit. But if the wind is blowing in, I like Reagans a little bit. Flip side of that, if we look at Bibby, and we look at his numbers last year, 4 starts against Kansas City, 22 innings pitched, 2-0 record, 10 earned runs in 4 games, which is great. 5 home runs, which is kind of high. 22 strikeouts. He averaged 16.2 fantasy points per game. That is more than 2 times value than what he would have there. If we look at those game logs against Kansas City, and we know in the championship series had some good stuff, but then had some bad stuff the game before. If we look at Kansas City at Kansas City, got the dub. 6 innings, 6 Ks. The start before that, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks. That's probably what we're looking at here, especially if the wind is blowing in. I don't mind either of these pitchers. You're going to save a little bit of money on both sides. You're going to save money with Bibby, about $1,600, and it just depends on what batters have had success against him. So if we look at Kansas City batters against Bibby in their career, not a ton. Bobby Witt's 4 for 13 with a home run. Michael Massey 2 for 7 with two home runs. Pescatino's hurt, I believe, and that is it. I kind of like Tanner Bibby here in Kansas City, which is a pitcher's ballpark. Then if we look at Cole Reagans, Santana 2 for 10 with a home run. Noel has a home run, but that's it. I think I like both of these pitchers. I'd rather take both pitchers than I would take batters in this game. So that game is done. Let's move on to the Mets at the Astros. The new look Mets with Juan Soto starting Clay Holmes as your opening day starter is a wild concept, but I don't understand because he had a fantastic spring training. But being a Yankees fan, watching what he did was really good for part of the year and then absolutely imploded. I don't see him being a good starter over the course of the season. I don't know how long he's going to go into the games. That's the problem. Then you got Framber Valdez. You got kind of the new look Astros. They don't have Bregman. They've got the little 4'5" left fielder who can't catch a ball apparently in the outfield. Neither here nor there. A little bit different. Clay Holmes, 41 plate appearances. All these numbers are coming off of bullpen. So 1 inning, 2 innings. That's the problem here. But if we look at this and we take a little gander at this game, is this game not on the slate? Yeah, it is. Why is it? Doesn't make any sense. So if we look at this, we look at, Clay Holmes is 6,000, still listed as a relief pitcher. Yeah, spring with a very impressive outing. St. Louis, yeah. I mean, he had 88 pitches, 9.93 ERA, and 23 and 8 K to walk through 19.1 innings. I don't know what to expect. Obviously, bullpen guy before imploded a lot last year, has had a good spring training, has had success against his Houston team, but albeit being a closer. So it's a little bit different. I don't trust him. If you want to go because he's 6,000, I'm okay with that. I just do not trust him a ton. And then you got Valdez. So Framber coming in here. Splits-wise, he faced the Mets only once last year. 10 hits allowed, 6 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Had an 11.57 ERA. I'm probably fading both of these pitchers. I'm looking at the bats. Okay? I'm looking at... And here's the thing. We don't know what we're going to get out of Houston. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Clay Holmes. I cannot get a read on this game to save my life right now. Yordan obviously makes a ton of sense. Love Yordan either against a righty or lefty. It does not matter to me. Christian Walker has a home run against him, 1 for 2. That's it. No one else has a home run. No one else has an extra base hit outside of Alvarez. So if I were to use a Houston stack against Clay Holmes, it's most likely Yonder Diaz, Yordan, Jeremy Pena, who's had a fantastic spring training so far. Is Christian Walker even healthy? It's day to day. He remains on track to be ready for open. Okay, so maybe he is an opening day. So he would make a ton of sense as well if I were to stack Houston there. That's basically it for Houston. Maybe Jose Altuve, but he's only 1 for 4. Flip side of that, Framber Valdez has not had success against this team. Players that have had success, only Mark Vientos has a home run, 1 for 3. Juan Soto, 2 for 5. Pete Alonso, usually good against lefties, 3 for 8. Is Starling Marte, is he starting? Is he playing? Is he hurt? I never know about Marte. So he is, he's here. He usually like to take him against lefties. So I'm okay with Starling Marte if we are looking in that direction there. If we're looking in that direction and we're fading Framber Valdez and you want to go the Mets, I would look at Juan Soto. I would look at Mark Vientos. I would look at Starling Marte, Pete Alonso, Lindor. I'm okay with that. Jose Siri against a lefty, I usually like to take that as well. If you want to see batter splits and everything else like that, those are under the MLB tab, under batter splits, how these batters do against lefties and righties. Obviously, all the stats we're going to be going over for the first couple of weeks are from 2024. So use that as it is, but that's pretty much what we've got to go over in that one. Next game, Giants at the Reds. You got Logan Webb versus Hunter Green. Now, this is Great American Small Park. The ball flies out of there. Whether or not the weather's going to be a factor in this one, for Cincy, it doesn't. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be cold. That's the only problem. If we look at factors in this game, wind is blowing in and out to left. It's swirling around. There's a little bit of chance for home runs. Not a huge chance for home runs, though. But if we were to take one, those would be, I'm okay with that. But we look at Logan Webb against the Reds, 91 plate appearances, 221 batting average, 23.1 K percentage with only a 4.4 walk percentage. So in his career, he's been pretty good. I would rather take him at home in San Francisco because I generally do not like to take pitchers in this ballpark, at least for cash. For tournaments, I'm okay with that. Hunter Green's actually had success against the Giants. 50 plate appearances, 42 K percentage, so probably, 20 strikeouts, 10% walk rate, and so 5 walks, and 133 batting average. So he's had success there. He's had a lot of success there. So if we jump in and we look at these, so Logan Webb against Cincy last year, 1 start, 7 innings, got the loss, 8 hits allowed, only 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts. Now I'm curious if that was in San Francisco or that was at Cincy. So let's see, that 1 start. That was at home, and that is a pitcher's park. That is my problem there. Logan Webb's not a sexy pitcher. You see what you get. It scares me a little bit. Then you got Hunter Green. Splits-wise, he faced San Francisco once last year, 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. A huge game, 37.7 fantasy points. He is 7,400. I am taking him. Cash or tournaments, I don't care. If it's colder, not as hot in Cincy, I like that even better, which would equal out, to say, hey, this is kind of what we're looking for. Hunter Green, I would rather take him over Logan Webb. Now, if we're looking at bats in this game, and you wanted to take a look and see what we've got going on. Cincy bats against Webb. Gavin Lux being with the Dodgers last year. 5 for 23, 4 doubles. 4 or 5 is great, especially in this ballpark. I would look at him. Ellie De La Cruz, any day of the week, we were looking at him. I would use those two. Not a ton of other ones that I trust at the moment. Maybe a little bit of Jake Fraley if he gets in there. Spencer Steer, Matt McClain, if they are in this opening day lineup. Those would be the ones I'd look at. I just do not trust Logan Webb enough. Maybe he surprises me, comes out and absolutely pitches his ass off. I don't know. But I'm not trusting him. And then if we are looking at Giants bats, I want nothing to do with him. Willy Adames, 3 for 14 with 2 home runs. That's it. Then Casey Schmidt has 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. That's the only two players that had extra base hits there. Outside of those two, I don't trust him. I would rather take Hunter Green in this one. Pay up a little bit for Green. He's had fantastic stuff. Hopefully we can get at least 6 to 7 innings out of him. I would be okay with that. Moving on to the Braves at the Padres, you got Chris Sale versus Michael King. This is a pitcher's ballpark. The reigning Cy Young winner, 81 plate appearances. Michael King, I believe, was in that running as well last year. 81 plate appearances, 24.7 K percentage, 264 batting average against the Padres. Fantastic numbers. Michael King, huge year last year. Only faced the Braves, 28 plate appearances total, 39.3 K percentage, 7.1 walk percentage, 231 batting average. So if we're looking at these, we're looking at both of these guys. Laying at San Diego, Chris Sale, last year against them, 2 starts, 2 wins, 12 innings, 9 hits allowed, only 1 earned run, and 13 strikeouts. Average 26.2 fantasy points per game. Perfect. In a pitcher's ballpark, give me all of that. The problem is San Diego normally hits lefties very well. That's where I'm kind of, in my mind, I'm like, Machado, Tatis, like these Bogarts, these are the numbers that I would look at, or these are the players that I would look at in these games there. Michael King, on the other hand, coming over for the Yankees for that Juan Soto rental for 1 year, whatever. Splits-wise, 1 start against Atlanta last year, 7 innings, got the dub, 5 hits allowed, no earned runs, and 12 strikeouts. 40.8 fantasy points per game. I love both of these pitchers. I think they're both great for cash or tournaments. Bats-wise, honestly, I don't know if I'll be looking at the bats at all. They both just had a ton of success. Pitchers have had success. Like if you were to take bats against them, maybe Machado, who's batting 346. Bogarts, 6 for 17. Tatis. Luis Ariz is always good for, a couple of hits and get it on base. That's it for me. I'd rather take Chris Sale, but if you wanted to fade him, those would be the bats I'd look at. Then we look at the bats for Atlanta against Michael King. No home runs. No extra base hits, actually. Only 6 hits allowed. Michael Harris has 2, Matt Olson 1, Ozuna 1, and Brian De La Cruz 1. I'm with Acuna back. I'm still probably on Michael King. You want to save a little bit of money, you go with Michael King, save $1,300. But both of these pitchers are in fantastic spots, and I just don't feel like taking bats against them. A game that I probably will have no exposure to, Angels at the White Sox. You got Yusei Kikuchi versus Sean Burke. If I recall, Sean Burke is a bullpen guy. Yeah. Okay. He did start at the end of the year last year. Game log wise, you can kind of see 5 innings, 6, 5, 3. Pretty good numbers his last 2 starts. Whether or not he's going to be split out there and he's good, we'll see. Angels are the Angels. Sean Burke for 6,300 tournament, I am okay with that. Kikuchi's the one that, who knows? Who really knows? Obviously with Houston last year, had some good starts, some really good starts, but he's been beat up before. Going up against a White Sox team that historically bad last year. Both of these pitchers' tournaments, I want nothing to do with the bats. I'm off of the bats in this game. You probably should be too, just to be honest. Next game, Pirates of the Marlins. You got Paul Skeens versus Sandy Alcantara. I don't want the bats in either of these. I love Paul Skeens, the picture of the video and the article for a reason. Miami strikes out a ton. Skeens might be Cy Young this year. Sandy Alcantara, Cy Young, a couple years ago, got hurt, did not pitch last year. Now he is playing. Both of these pitchers have plus matchups for bats. Now, Sandy Alcantara, 60 plate appearances, 302 batting average against him. Paul Skeens, 21 plate appearances, 300 batting average against him. The Pirates, as a team, strike out fourth most out of all teams. So Alcantara makes a ton of sense. If you look at Alcantara, my problem is I don't know how deep he's going to go into this game. That's the only thing that scares me. Alcantara here with his price, 7,700, you can do a lot with. Skeens is very steep price at 10,000. He's the most expensive pitcher on the slate, but his matchup here for the Marlins, I love the matchup here. Miami struck out 8.7 times per game last year. Skeens has stuff for 10 plus strikeouts a game. I want both of these pitchers. I want nothing to do with the bats in this. We have other games to focus on the bats way more than we do in this one right now. Got the Twins at the Cardinals. Pablo Lopez versus Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray thought would be traded. Was not traded yet. Very surprised at that. Then we look at this game. There is weather concern here. And we'll kind of, I don't know why they have Colorado here. They don't even have a game. I know that says they don't have a game, but why put them on there? I'm very confused. But Minnesota versus St. Louis. Pablo Lopez, 58 plate appearance, 208 batting average. A really sad excuse of the team for St. Louis. And then you got Sonny Gray, 78 plate appearances, 183 batting average, 25.6 K percentage. Great numbers for both of these guys. To be honest, and then you look at Pablo Lopez splits-wise, only faced St. Louis once last year, got that dub in there, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, no runs, 9 strikeouts, averaged 34.2 fantasy points per game in that one game. Fantastic numbers for 8,200. Then you've got Sonny Gray coming in. You're saving 400 here. Faced one time last year, got the loss, 5 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, only 12.1. Did not have success there. So if we were to look at Minnesota bats that have had success against Sonny Gray, like Harrison Bader's 2 for 10, but it has a home run. Ty France 2 for 11 with a hit. Trevor Larnach 2 for 3. Both of those hits were home runs. Like, they've been there. They haven't had a ton of success against him. Sonny Gray scares me a little bit. He pitches very well. He's at home now. So if you look, that's another thing to look at. Home and away split. So if you look at splits, home games last year, 279 batting average or ERA. When he was on the road, it was 520. So that's another factor to look into. Weather, BVP, matchups, lineups that come out, splits, home and away, splits for the teams, how they hit against lefties or righties. So many different factors for baseball. That is why we are here to bring you all of that with our simulations. Sonny Gray at home, I'm okay with. Sonny Gray on the road, I'm scared, but this is one to monitor with the weather. Do not know what we're going to get out of this one, so pay attention to that weather report. So that is your main slate done. Main slate is completely done. We've got 3 games later that we can look at real quick. Tigers at the Dodgers, Tariq Skubal versus Blake Snell. Skubal, 38 plate appearances, 194. I think this could be a low-scoring game. Both of these are strikeout pitchers. Both of these are Cy Young pitchers. That's kind of what I feel like. Obviously, we've got both of these teams have been hitting very well. If you were to look at such, like, we know that the Dodgers are stacked. Mookie Betts has some weird illness, which I'm kind of concerned about. I don't know what's going on. He's lost like 26 pounds. They're not really saying anything. Hopefully everything's okay. But obviously the Dodgers are still the Dodgers. They stack team regardless with or without Mookie. But Tariq Skubal could spell some good times for Detroit. And on the flip side of that, Gleyber Torres coming in. You've got a young Tigers team that was contending last year, that did very well last year. Now they're facing Blake Snell's one of those. He's either going to throw a no-hitter, or he's going to get hurt, or he's going to get shelled. That's kind of what I think. This is a low-scoring game. I think it could go 5, 6, 7 innings of no hits. Not no hits, but a low-scoring game with both pitchers racking up strikeouts. I'm okay with both of them. I'm not really looking at many of the bats. LA, you kind of already know. The entire team is up to be put on there, especially against a lefty. Literally everyone on the team. Detroit, yeah, I mean, Gleyber's 2 for 6, but does have a home run, likes to hit against lefties, has seen Blake Snell. Javi Baez, 1 for 4. I would never use Javi Baez. I would use Matt Vierling a little bit. It just depends on the lineup that Detroit throws out there. Yeah, I don't trust, not Baez. Baez can jump off a bridge into a fire. He's very bad at baseball sense. like 5 years now. Wild times. And then if we are taking the Dodgers bats against Skubal, I mean, Tommy Edman loved to take against lefties. Teoscar Hernandez we love to take against lefties. Freddie Freeman I'm okay with, does have a home run against him. If he plays, he probably will play. Ohtani obviously makes sense, but he is 0 for 6 against Skubal there. Cubs at the Diamondbacks, you got Justin Steele versus Zach Gallen. Steele, this is Coors Field Jr. in Arizona. 80 plate appearances is pretty good. 33 batting average against him, though. We'll see if it's I wouldn't use Justin Steele. I don't think I'd look at some of these bats for here. Ketel Marte I'm okay with. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. against a lefty has 4 for 9 with a home run here. Corbin Carroll 2 for 6 has had a great spring. You've got Gabriel Moreno 7 for 8, batting .875. If you're looking for a cheap catcher or utility, Gabby is a good one there. Usually we like to take Randall Grichuk against lefties. I don't know if he'll get the start, so that's definitely one to look at there. And then the flip side of that, Cubs bats against Zach Gallen. He's actually had quite a bit of success. I am probably taking Zach Gallen in this one. If you were to fade that and go a different way, Kyle Tucker makes sense. Michael Busch maybe a little bit if he gets in there. That's it. I'd rather have Zach Gallen over Justin Steele, and I'd rather have the Arizona bats over the Cubs bats. Then the final game, I just absolutely love this picture. Athletics. It's weird to see ATH, or now some sites have them as Sacramento instead of Oakland, which is funny to me, obviously. But we look at this, Sevy versus Logan Gilbert. I would love if this, now they're in a minor league stadium for the A's, but they're in they're in Seattle right now. Sevy, 31 plate appearances, 32.3 K percentage. I think I'd rather take him than the bats for Seattle. And then I love Logan Gilbert, 87 plate appearances, 107 batting average against him, 34.5 K percentage. In this night slate, I take both of these pitchers, not really looking at the bats. So all in all, that is your breakdown. A little bit different because the slates are a little bit different, but once we get an early slate, then a main slate, it'll make it a lot easier to break down for you. The keyword of the day is migraine, because these awesome glasses, they're like the blue light glasses because your boy's got a headache trying to stay focused, but I wanted to bring you guys this as much as I possibly could. So there you have it. That is the breakdown for DFS. Now, we are moving on to Pitches Be Crazy. It's a little bit different. I'd love to get more time under the belt, but it's early. We are looking at this. We are looking at teams that strike out the most. And hopefully, you guys are here and ready to go. So overall, this is for the entire day, not for each slate. So overall, last year, Seattle, they struck out 10.03 times per game. And at home, they struck out 10.25 times per game. Seattle, they're facing Sevy. Sevy is number one pitcher to be crazy because Seattle struck out the most last year. Now, number two, for teams that are starting right now, Boston. Nate Eovaldi versus Boston. Boston struck out 9.69 times per game, 9.7 times, or 9.68 times on the road. So very consistent whether or not they're home, on the road, still struck out a ton. Number three is technically Pittsburgh. So if we look at Pittsburgh, we're looking at Sandy Alcantara going up against Pittsburgh. They struck out 9.3 times per game. On the road, 10.05. Now, obviously, these are last year, and the stats are different, and the teams are different, but this is what we have to go over. Number four is Logan Gilbert versus Sacramento versus Oakland versus ATH, whatever we're calling it. They struck out 9.27 times per game, and on the road, they struck out 9.89 times per game. So I love me a little bit of Logan Gilbert there. And then we're looking at Blake Snell. Going up against Detroit, Detroit struck out 9.1 times per game. 9.86 on the road last year. So again, your pitchers that we are looking at right now, Severino against Seattle, Eovaldi versus Boston, Sandy Alcantara versus Pittsburgh. 4 is Logan Gilbert versus Sacramento, a.k.a. Oakland. And number 5 is Blake Snell versus the Detroit Tigers. There you have it there. If you wanted to go over some of the bats that we like, simulations out of the entire day, Adley Rutschman is towards the top of my list. Alex Bregman is 2. These are through 10,000 simulations. These will update throughout the day, so make sure you check back because these will update. We do 20,000 a day. What I usually tell everybody, especially with baseball, you can check about 2 hours before first pitch, and we'll have updated everything. So Adley is number 3. Number 4 is Josh Bell. 5, Ryan O'Hearn. 6, Manny Machado. 7, Paul Goldschmidt. 8, Gabriel Moreno. 9, Vladdy Guerrero. And number 10 is Nick Castellanos versus Mackenzie Gore. We've covered all of that. We've covered everything that you guys want. Is the video longer? Yes. Is it informative? Hopefully. If there are certain things you want to see in these videos, let me know down below. Make sure you check out our Discord. Let me know there as well. And I wanted to show you everything that we have on the website for you. So give me 1 second to bring everything up. I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. All right, so just kind of a quick overview of FTA Plus, what you could see. Obviously, everything's from last year. It will be updated by the first pitch of the main slate. But I wanted to bring you all, I wanted to show you what you could see for $10 for a week, $30 for a month, $75 for a year if you email us dfshelp1@gmail.com right now until first pitch. Once it is gone, it is gone. It is $199 for the year, and what you could get for a lifetime pass. So under the MLB tab, you've got your simulation. Now I'm going to update these simulations a little bit differently. So these will be updated for you. We'll do hitter and pitcher simulation. So this is going to be revamped. I'm thinking it's probably going to be built into the actual page and not an Excel document. So this is what we had last year. A ton of information for you. Vegas odds obviously makes sense. We don't have all the Vegas odds yet, though. So once we get it, it'll all be filled out with the pitcher and everything for you. So we're ready to rock and roll there. You've got batter splits. So whether or not you're going versus right-handed pitcher versus left-handed pitcher, broken down. Obviously, the darker the green, the better the player is. So this will be updated as well for you, and you can check all of that out. BVP is exactly what it sounds like. Batter versus pitcher, any of the statistics that make sense. At bats, it'll be all throughout there for you. Some people like BVP, some people don't. I get both sides of I understand. Stolen base targets, it's exactly that. Shows the player who has the stolen bases for the year. Obviously, we're going off stats from last year for now. Stats from 2019 to 2024. What they've allowed, stolen base percentage. Obviously, the darker green, the better you want to go with. And then you can look at historical matchups to see if they've got it there. That is there. If you've been with us for NBA, basically baseball is kind of the same. This is from last year, but pitch will do about 6 to 7 plays for cash at each position, 6 or 7 plays tournaments for each position. Then we'll do stacks, pitchers to target against, team to stack, projected stack ownership, and then 4 players that we like in those stacks. We have Fanduel ownership, DraftKings ownership. We have weather, which always plays a factor that people don't think about. We have a couple of optimal lineups for baseball, for Fanduel, DraftKings, for either early slate or main slate to look at and go over. And then boomstick shots. As you can see, we had 111 correct home run calls last year, and I want to break that record. I want to smash that record this year. With this, sometimes I do up to 6 players that we think are going to hit home runs. I'm going to put them in there. Love the cheat sheet. A lot of you like the cheat sheet. If there are certain things you want to see on the cheat sheet, let me know down below. Let me know in the Discord, or you can even email me or hit us up, DM on Discord. Chalk, it's exactly what it sounds like. This is going to be retrofitted in here. We'll make it fit the screen. It looks a little bit different because we had to change the theme, but it's exactly what it sounds like. These are the chalk plays at each position. On top of that, we will change it up. And if you play cash, you want to go with chalk. If you play tournaments, you want to fade this chalk right here. Ballpark stats. These are rankings for the ballparks, for the home runs, for everything. Slugging rating, everything is built into this. This will be updated probably day of, once we know the weather, once we know all the starting pitchers, once we know what the weather's going to do, and everything in between. We've got the umpire factors. Now, umpire factor, and it's kind of you can see it'll have all the players or all the umpires, how they do, if they're good for batter, if they're boosted for strikeouts, boosted for walks, boosted for runs, whatever it is, that'll be updated there as well. We've got our team bullpens, how they've done, the ERA, usage, and the stats. Obviously, this is going to change throughout the year, and this is really all we can do because, players come and go now. So this is definitely one that we will update later on. Player projections, exactly what it sounds like, just like NBA. And then our props, just like with NBA and stuff. We started a new updated one August 19th of last year, but, upwards of like 6 to 7 bets each day. We're not going to go perfect. I understand that. But we will update this for you, and we'll try to bring you as much as we can. And all of this is included for $10 for a week for FTA Plus and up. So that is what I've got for you. Any questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. Let's have a fantastic opening day. Let's have a great season. Hopefully we see you in the winner's circle. Any questions? I'm giving you a couple of days to answer. So let's have a great day. Thank goodness baseball is back because NBA is getting stale. A lot of people, so many people are sitting after we've already lineup locked. It's getting crazy. We don't see that as much with MLB. Now, you do have MLB and they have batting practice. Maybe someone gets hurt or something like that. But the majority of it, the lineup comes out a few hours before the game and we are good to go. So that is what I've got. The first game of the MLB season, or the first day. Let's have a great day. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon.